Hi, my name is Charlotte Eccles with Magic Aire Technical Support. Today we'll be talking about the NDB maintenance. The first thing you're going to want to make sure you do is put on your safety glasses. To start the unit, you have a start-stop switch on the front of the unit, and we're going to talk about setting the fan speed first before we start talking about taking it apart. So as this unit's in operation, there's a small pot here. If you have a tiny screwdriver, you can put it right there. And as you rotate it clockwise, the fan will go faster. If you want to slow the fan down, you rotate it counterclockwise and the fan will slow down to its minimum RPM. And that is how you set the fan speed on the NDB. Before we start doing maintenance on the unit, the first thing we need to do is power it off. So we're going to turn the unit off here, and we're going to practice our version of the lockout tagout. We're going to unplug the unit to make sure that there's no shocks that occur during our maintenance procedures. The nice thing about the NDB unit is it's entirely accessible from the front. If you just use this flathead screwdriver, you can open this front panel, and it gives you complete access to all the electrical and the motor blower section. This unit also shows what the antimicrobial coating looks like. So if you have antimicrobial coating, it's this blue shade. The regular color is this pale gray. The tools you'll need to work on the NDB are a 1/2-inch nut driver with an extension, a 5/16" nut driver, a 5/16" crescent wrench, a small flathead screwdriver for electrical work, a large flathead screwdriver, a cordless drill, and your personal protection equipment, gloves, safety glasses, or whatever your workplace deems appropriate. The first item we're going to be talking about is preventive maintenance, the items that you will need to do periodically as your particular unit needs it. One of the first items you're going to look at is the blower wheel. Is it dusty? Does it have a lot of contaminants on it? One of the items that you can do is you can blow it with compressed air or use a vacuum or a brush to knock off most of the dirt. I wouldn't recommend washing it because that's a pain to clean up. The next item on our preventive maintenance list is servicing the coil. To service the cooling coil, you're going to have to remove the right exterior panel. Make sure you don't lose any screws. This pops off fairly easily and removes. To do this well, you're going to have to remove the filter, and you're going to want to put a pan here to catch all of the liquid. So you're going to use whichever cleaning solution your HVAC distributor recommends. It has to be non-acidic. All right, you're going to spray on both sides of the coil here, and the bottom has an open section in the drain pan. So there's an opening here where you can spray up on the inside of this A coil. And so when you put a pan here, if you will remove, you don't have to remove the heating coil, but if you will loosen this panel, like so, you will have enough that you can go in there and spray up and get in between the heating coil and the cooling coil and up through the drain pan hole and get the bottom side of the cooling coil. And you can also turn around and spray the top of the heating coil, and all this should be cleaned with a non-acidic detergent as needed. The last item on your preventive maintenance list is, of course, probably the one you will do most often, which is replacing the filter. The filter door simply is 2 latches, and all you have to do is twist the latches, drop it down, airflow, look at the little arrow and make sure you install the filter so it goes with the airflow. Close the door. Me personally, I put the date that I put it in on the side of the filter. So if I'm ever wondering how long it's been in, I can look at the date on the side. This is the primary condensate drain and the secondary condensate drain. You will want to make sure that you keep these condensate drains cleared and cleaned out and that they're trapped properly. Backing up into the unit will produce liquid coming out and flooding the floor, and nobody likes that. You may or may not have the condensate overflow switch. If you don't have one, you might want to install one. It goes on the secondary drain. It has a float inside, so when this is halfway full, this just slides on. When it's halfway full, it'll send a signal to the electrical, and you can shut off the unit. That way you're not producing condensate that's going to flood the floor. And that'll let you know that you need to clean the condensate drain. The last item on your preventive maintenance list, every time you do servicing on the unit that involves any liquids or brushing out the blower, you're going to want to wipe out the inside of the unit. So just wipe the inside surfaces of this double wall unit. It's very easy to wipe off with a cloth. You can use a mild detergent, especially if you have an antimicrobial coating. You're going to want to carefully take care of that and not do anything to mar that surface.